Hello guys, Shikaria here, and I'm here with another Film Talks episode. In this I'm going to be, somehow over the past few weeks, The Girl Who Drowned 2 has come up in so many conversations with me. You know, whether it's recommending it to people or discussing it with people. And so I thought that I would express my opinions, because obviously they've done a Swedish film, an American film, and where those lies. I've read all the books, and they are my favourite trilogy of all time. I think they're utterly brilliant, and it's so sad that he didn't get to see them become the bestseller that they are. You know, because he died before. I don't know whether it was all of them were released or some of them were released. I don't know, but so I don't know how it's carried on coming up in conversations, but it has, and the main ideas people have got is, oh, the Swedish one came first, the Swedish one has subtitles, the Swedish one's in the original language, so therefore the Swedish one has got to be better, that's got to be the better one, that's got to be the one more true to the story. And a lot of people are saying that, and everyone that I talk to says that. But then I ask them whether they've read the books, and they say, no, we haven't read the books. And because I watched the American one, then I watched the Swedish whole trilogy with my dad, and then I watched the American one with my dad. But while we were watching the Swedish trilogy, at the end, go and kick the hornet's nest. Yeah, well, near the end. Anyone who's seen it, my dad just halfway through, when Elizabeth Salander does something, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil anything. He says something and he goes, "What a bitch!" Because I think both of the films, they're both brilliant, and I think that you kind of, in order to really grasp the story, you know, understanding the characters, you need to watch both the Swedish and the American in order to really understand what the characters are doing. But the fact that my dad, having only seen the Swedish ones, he felt no sympathy towards Elizabeth Salander, and I was there, and because I'd seen the American one already and I had read the books already, you know, I knew where she was coming from with this, because, you know, I'm trying to really avoid spoilers, and they covered that in the American one, and I feel like they covered much more of the story, like not the individual story, because I think that they covered that about the same, really. If anything, the Swedish one covers it more. It's going to be really hard for me not to say anything, because say any spoilers. All I suggest is that you go away and watch it, and you'll maybe get an idea of where I'm coming from. At least I hope you get an idea of where I'm coming from. Otherwise, I'm just jabbering on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So yeah, I think that as an overall story, if you watch just the Swedish ones, you don't really feel much sympathy towards Elizabeth Salander, and I can see why, because you don't get any of the stuff that she goes through with the American one, because you just get that. You get that in Girl Who Drowned 2 right at the very end. There's that bit with the jacket, and that's all I'm saying. Anyone that's seen it knows what I'm talking about. And you don't get that in the Swedish one, and you don't feel sympathy for her, for what happens to her. And so the way that she is later on, you just don't really get. And so personally, I'm against the majority of this one, and I think that the American one actually does a better job of telling the story, and obviously the production value of it is better. And I think Daniel Craig is an absolutely phenomenal actor. Numi Rapace in the American one does a solid job as Elizabeth Salander. I think that she's probably better than Rooney Mara. Rooney Mara's still great, but I think Numi Rapace really nailed it. And David Fincher, who directed the American one, I think it's really solid. I can't remember many of the actors in the Swedish ones, because they're all Swedish names. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of words in Swedish, because I don't speak Swedish. And I think that, but it's one of those rare ones where you get the remake and it's nowhere near as good as the original. But in this case, it is. It stands up to the original on every level. and it really kind of, and obviously, in terms of profits, it obviously didn't do as well as the Swedish one, because the Swedish one cost less to make, and so it made more money because it was the first one, and so it attracted all the audience which had read the books, which was already a bestseller, and it attracted all of them to come over, and so they all went to see it, and it made, I can't remember, I think it was about 110 million and cost 20 million to make, so it made over 5 times as much. And then the American one cost something like 98 million. I think 98 million is sounding familiar. I haven't looked at this in ages, and it was really, and it made something like 170, so it didn't even make half the thing. But that's because it had so much more to make up, and the only real bonus that it had was from everyone else watching who couldn't be bothered to read subtitles. But honestly, I think the American one is a better version, but you need to see both in order to really grasp the story. That's what I think matter. Anyone who's seen the films, let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree, whether you prefer the Swedish ones, whether you prefer the American one, whether you, like me, think that you need to watch both together, or whether one of them tells the story just as well as the other. So like I very enjoyed, I think this has been a slightly shorter episode, but I very enjoyed, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.